What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconerizonechannel for another daily news video on a Sunday. I'm gonna warn you, there's not a lot of news, which is normal on a Sunday, and especially on a Sunday during the World Cup. But there is a story I want to talk about because for me it's a bit worrying. I'm gonna stay on topic. So one story. But before we get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. As always, hit that bell notification and a month, a little bit more than a month, and then Juve is back. Um, kind of needed. Like World Cup is fun, like a lot of football on, but I'm at a point already where I'm like, oh, I just want something different. Not that we are playing WoW, but like international football, just in general, it's fun for a while in my opinion. But then I'm like, I get tired of it. But whatever. Some good games on, some interesting players also, which Julian will discuss on a video. He's gonna go over a big list of players. So stay tuned for that. But we're gonna talk about Zaniolo, as you can see on the thumbnail, and the story was from Tuttosport saying Nicolo Zaniolo is not over. Juve is not over. The player is back on top of the Bianconeri's wish list, who's postponing his renewal with Roma. Now, um, for me, this is worrying because we need to update our list. We have a very old list, in my opinion. You can see that in the summer with the players who were linked a lot of the times. Like it seems like we have a list Paratici made in 2017, I don't know, and just passed it on to Cherubini and whoever. Um, we shouldn't be in for Zaniolo personally. Uh, uh, this time, if you want to talk about the money and all those things, if he's not renewing his deal with Roma, it's not going to be the figure that has been discussed in the past. But what is Zaniolo showing? And this is serious, like a serious question. What is he showing that makes the club think that's a good investment? He's playing well. He can help us out. I'm not even talking about numbers because they are poor, like his stats. And if you play in that position, you need to back it up with some kind of stats. They're poor. Like they're actually really bad. But forget about the stats a little bit. If you watch Roma play, there are moments in a game where you're like, okay, but over 90 minutes, me personally, I always leave that game or like and watching that game and be like, I haven't seen enough. Like, or he disappeared for a while, and then he has a moment where he's like again, where you like, that's brilliant. You can see his talent, but he cannot build on that. Just as my opinion, I'm worried that we actually are gonna go in for Zaniolo again. I know the club is pushing that Italian core of players, if you want to call that like that. But doesn't need to be. I'm gonna say the obvious one. Like it's the obvious one. He is the should have been the it kid, before the injuries. And I have the feeling the club or like a lot of people are trying to revive what he was, but he's not that player anymore. He isn't, and I just don't want to get linked with him anymore. I want something completely new, because again, players are leaving, like a Di Maria. We can discuss his impact at the end of the season. But like a Quadrado, who has had a big impact ever since he joined. Not the last year and a half, but like just in general, he had a big impact. I don't have that feeling, like, because it's a big void in terms of players leaving and new players coming in. The players coming in next summer, there will be a lot of pressure on them because assuming how the season is going now, you probably it's probably not going to end the way it should end. Maybe a top 4 place, but like that's not where we should be. So the players coming in, and there will be a lot because again, free agents, we need to replace players in general. You need to gel one more time. Like it's not that it's one position. The team is set. It's a solid team. Every position is basically cemented by a player, and then you bring in Zaniolo, who can come in, do his thing, take his time to adapt, blah blah blah, all those things. That's not gonna happen like summer, and I think the pressure will be through the roof because he is playing in Italy for a while. Everybody knows Zaniolo. Everybody knows his track record. Everybody knows what's going on in around him as a player. Blah blah blah. All those things. I think the pressure will be so high that he will not be playing up to expectations. And expectations this season they were winning the Scudetto. Those were Allegri's words. So what will it be next summer? Like you cannot take a step back in terms of expectations. You just can't. And I just don't see it. Let me know in the comments what you think about potential Zaniolo move again. But like when I hear that news, and again it's very early, but I'm not shocked if it's 100% accurate that we are still in for Zaniolo. I don't know on what it's based. I have really no idea. Surely it's not on this season because he's not playing well. And again, he has had some good moments, but like over the course of the season, that's not what you expect from a player of his caliber. It's just not, coming out of it now. So I don't want to be linked with him. Just not at all. I think it needs to be something completely new. Also in terms of link, like you cannot chase the same player, and you can say that about Milinkovic Savic. Like we're chasing him for years, but like that's Savic. Like what he has done in Serie A is impressive playing for Lazio. Zaniolo doesn't have that large of a sample size where you're like, yeah, chase him, chase him, chase him, and get him. He hasn't. And I saw someone making a good point saying it reminded him a bit of Bernardeschi when we signed him in Fiorentina. I don't agree with that because I think Bernardeschi was playing at a higher level than Zaniolo is now in terms of performances. I still wasn't up for that move back then. I remember it really good, clearly, because there was also talk he would get the number 10. I wasn't really fussed about that, but I wasn't really high on Bernardeschi. Like I didn't really understand the move at the time. I thought he was a good player, but what he's shown didn't convince me fully. Now in the end, it turned out to be a disaster, in my opinion. Like the whole, his whole stay period as a club is just for me is a write off. Like it's been poor, really poor. But I'm getting the same feeling now. I'm thinking about it. I just don't feel it with Zaniolo. I think it's kind of forced upon us, or like on the club. It feels like it's his destiny to play for us. Like that's the feeling I'm getting. But it shouldn't be that case, in my opinion. We should be just looking at someone, someone new, someone fresh, also someone who can deliver 100%. And again, it can always go wrong in the end. But like one of those players where you like has qualities at this moment in time are undeniable. Not with Zaniolo, where yeah, maybe or maybe not, you will come good. But whatever, this is a story. Let me know in the comments what you think, and yeah, like the video, and we will see you back tomorrow. Ciao.